The book of Judges, heroes, villains, and a whole lot of face-palming. Judges is like the Wild West of the Bible, full of larger-than-life heroes, evil villains, and a whole bunch of people making questionable life choices. It's a roller coaster of highs and lows where the Israelites go from victory to disaster and back again so many times you almost get dizzy. Honestly, if this were a reality show, it'd be called God's Got Talent, but the contestants keep messing it up. Judges is set in that awkward period after Joshua's death, but before Israel gets its first king, which means there's no central leader. Instead, God raises up judges. Not like robe-wearing, gavel-banging judges, but more like warrior chieftains who rescue the Israelites from their enemies and attempt to restore some order. Each judge has their moment of glory, but the people keep falling back into old habits, namely worshiping other gods. It's like the biblical version of wash, rinse, repeat. Every time they mess up, God sends someone to save them. And then they mess up again. It's a cycle that'll make you want to shake your head in disbelief, and maybe laugh a little too. Judges. Chapter 1. Enter the spiral of doom. The book starts on a promising note with the Israelites continuing to conquer the promised land. Joshua's legacy is still fresh in their minds, and things seem to be going well. But, and there's always a but, they don't finish the job. Instead of driving out the remaining Canaanites, they start getting cozy with them, which, spoiler alert, leads to major problems. Imagine being on a diet and saying, just one donut won't hurt. Then 5 minutes later, you've eaten the entire box. That's the Israelites in a nutshell. They start worshiping the Canaanite gods, and it's all downhill from there. Judges chapter 3, Ehud the left-handed assassin. Now we get to the part where God starts raising up judges, and the first real star of the show is Ehud. This guy's story is straight-up action movie material. Ehud's left-handed, which is super rare and makes him a bit of an underdog, and he uses this to his advantage to pull off a James Bond-level assassination. Here's the deal. The Israelites are being oppressed by a king named Eglon, and Ehud's sent to deliver tribute to him. But Ehud's got a secret, a double-edged sword hidden under his clothes. He meets with Eglon, who, as the Bible notes, is a very fat man. No body shaming, just saying. Ehud tells Eglon he has a secret message for him, so Eglon sends everyone else away. Then, with his left hand, Ehud pulls out the sword and plunges it into Eglon's belly. And get this. The Bible says the fat closed over the blade. Oof. Ehud escapes, rallies the Israelites, and they defeat the Moabites. Talk about a mic drop moment. Ehud proves that even the unlikeliest heroes can be used by God. Judges chapter 4 to 5. Deborah and Jael, girl power times 2. Next up, we've got Deborah, one of the most impressive figures in the entire Bible. Deborah, the only female judge, and she's also a prophetess and a military leader. When the Israelites are being oppressed by King Jabin and his army commander, Sisera, Deborah calls up a guy named Barak and tells him to go fight. Barak, being not quite as courageous as Deborah, says he'll only go if she goes with him. Deborah's like, fine, but a woman's going to get the glory for this victory. Sure enough, after Barak's forces rout Sisera's army, Sisera flees and hides in the tent of a woman named Jael. Sisera thinks he's safe, but Jael's not exactly on his side. While he's sleeping, she drives a tent peg through his head. Yeah, this is where you realize that if Hollywood ever made a movie about the book of Judges, it'd definitely be rated R. Deborah and Jael are absolute powerhouses, showing that God uses whoever he wants, regardless of gender, to accomplish his plans. Judges, chapter 6 to 8. Gideon, from coward to conqueror. The story of Gideon is one of my favorites, mostly because it's so relatable. Gideon starts off as a complete coward. When we first meet him, he's hiding in a wine press, threshing wheat so the Midianites won't steal it. God shows up and says, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." To which Gideon basically responds, "Who, me?" Gideon has some serious doubts, and he even asks God for a series of signs to prove that he's really supposed to lead God's chosen people against the Midianites. God, in his patience, obliges. First, there's the fleece test, where Gideon asks for the fleece to be wet with dew and the ground dry, and then the next day asks for the opposite. It's like Gideon's trying to triple check that he's not about to make a huge mistake. Once Gideon's finally convinced, he gathers an army, but God tells him he has too many men. Wait, what? God doesn't want Israel thinking they won because of their own strength, so he whittles Gideon's army down to 300 soldiers. Yes, just like the movie. Armed with nothing but trumpets, jars, and torches, Gideon's army causes massive confusion in the Midianite camp, and the Israelites win the battle. Gideon's journey from doubter to deliverer reminds us that God can turn our weaknesses into strengths when we trust him. Judges chapter 13 to 16. Samson, super strength, super flawed. And now for the most famous judge of them all. Samson, the original strongman of the Bible. Samson's story is like a mix of superhero origin story and tragic drama. He's got superhuman strength, but he also has a major weakness: Delilah. From the beginning, Samson's life is marked by God's power. He's a Nazarite, which means he's dedicated to God from birth, and part of that dedication involves never cutting his hair. As long as his hair stays long, he's got insane strength. We're talking about a guy who kills a lion with his bare hands and wipes out 1,000 Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey. But Samson's downfall comes when he falls for Delilah, a woman who's working for the Philistines. She nags him until he finally reveals the secret of his strength: his hair. While Samson sleeps, Delilah has his hair cut, and just like that, his strength is gone. The Philistines capture him, gouge out his eyes, and put him in prison. In the end, though, Samson has one last moment of redemption. During a big Philistine celebration, they bring him out to mock him. But Samson prays to God for strength one last time. He pushes against the pillars of the temple, bringing the whole building down and killing more Philistines in his death than he did in his life. Samson's story is both a cautionary tale and a reminder that God can still use flawed people to accomplish his purposes. So in conclusion, the Judges. Messy heroes for a messy time. The book of Judges is one wild ride. It's full of flawed heroes, unexpected leaders, and some seriously strange situations. But through it all, we see one consistent theme. God is faithful, even when his people aren't. Time and time again, the Israelites turn away from God, and time again, he raises up a judge to rescue them. In a way, the book of Judges is a lot like life. We all mess up, sometimes in spectacular ways, but God is always there, ready to pick us up and give us another chance. Whether we're feeling like Gideon, doubting our ability to do what God asks, or like Samson, struggling with our own weaknesses, we can trust that God is with us, working in the midst of the mess.